Hi everyone, I am the CRM Ninja, and today I'm joined by Linn. Hopefully, I got that correctly from
Yeah,
Myanmar and
that's correct.
Burma. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for
Uh,
coming on it.
thanks for having me in the show.
It's my pleasure. You've told me that you've watched a couple of episodes. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far.
Yeah, it was really good, and I enjoy, how learning from the people's experience and
Great,
sharing things is really great.
wonderful. Well, that's really what this is about and why I started it. Now, before we start hearing about your own Oops Factor story, I understand it you're a gamer. So can you share with us a couple of your most favorite games and what you play it on?
Oh yeah, so I love to play those Japanese RPG games. So
Okay.
I'm really a fan of not Western RPG games like The Witcher and all these others. So the Japanese RPG game is a little bit different. So most of those are like a turn-based, and so one of the famous series might be like Final Fantasy. I think you might have heard about it. And
Just one of them. I mean, there are just so many of them now, aren't there?
oh yeah, it's a lot. Like now up to 15 in the series. Well, it was really nice. No, so those Japanese RPGs are the games that I really are like, and then I can spend like hundreds and a couple of 100 hours just on one
Wow.
game to finish the whole complete things. Yeah,
Intense, intense. And
yeah.
what do you play them on?
So mostly I play them on the PlayStation. So currently I play on my PS4 and
Okay.
sometimes on the Nintendo Switch. And because those Japanese RPG games are more on this Nintendo platform as well as the Sony platform.
I mean, Sony and Nintendo, of course, are, good,
Yeah,
solid
Japanese.
Japanese brands, so quite
Yeah.
a thing. So brilliant, wonderful. So have you been watching CES, the news coming out of it, the Consumer Electronics Show, for people who are not familiar with it? It's an annual electronics show showing all the latest gadgetry and stuff out every January, because I've been seeing some stuff about PS5 and the new Switch.
Mm, yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, the previews they've shown at the moment of the PS5 are probably nothing what it's going to actually look like. They generally show a preview of something, they change it, but quite exciting with how they're going. Brilliant. So
Yeah.
you're actually the first acknowledged gamer who's come on the show. I mean, people may game, but nobody's admitted to it yet. So
Well, that's nothing to be ashamed of.
in fact, I saw a study some point last year whereby people who spend a lot of time gaming actually sharpen their reflexes. It can help with coding and other stuff because the concentration on the detail. So
Yes.
for those of you who aren't gaming, maybe you should take it up.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
So from gaming to your oops factor, what did you have to share with us today?
Oh, yeah. So that oops factor that I want to share is about my very first bar apps project that I
Ooh,
had.
power apps, exciting.
Yeah, the Canvas apps project. So let me get back to the very first beginning of the background for this thing.
Okay.
So that project started. Um, so when it started, I didn't really have any RF Canvas app development experience, and
Okay.
I wasn't directly involved in that. So
Are
this
you a
requirement,
developer or are you
yeah,
more sort of the business consultant?
I'm more of a developer, and
Okay.
lately it's more like a technical consultant. So a little bit more of a development, but some consulting
Okay.
solutioning involved. Yeah, dealing with the clients and stuff.
Got it.
And so when the requirement came in, so as our team, we do this analysis and see if it's a fit for the Canvas apps, and then
Okay.
we decided to go with that. But I only involved in that initial thing, or analysis thing, and then the actual development is started by this business analyst. So these functional consultants, the two of them. So since it's the Canvas apps, there's a system developer thing. They so we were also sort of busy with other development, like another plugin and other the custom portal development. So we
Okay.
also have no bandwidth, so they pick up then they just move on.
Okay. I
So
hear it does happen like that sometimes.
yeah, and it's initially they started off as POC, and it went really well. They started with
Good.
all these um, sample custom entities, and they started for so the app is about this survey like assessment form. So they do the digital transformation from all these paper-based forms into this
Okay.
Power Apps Canvas app. And so they have sort of around 9, 10 forms, and they take one of the simple one and try to convert it and the Power Apps as a POC.
Yes.
And the
Well,
proof
you
of
need to start
concept,
from somewhere. You want to do minimum viable products. You start with one. That goes well.
yeah,
You roll out to more and you iterate on it, which is best practice as we know.
yes, exactly. And then that they decided to roll out the development for the all of the forms
Every
and
single
just
one.
yes, not every single one, but they want to make it generic app to cater for all these forms,
Okay.
and then they want to make it more dynamic, like allow the user admins to add more questions
Okay.
or change the answer and scores and stuff.
Got it.
And so the previous POC was done all in the text fields, and now that we're doing the actual development, they added all these link between entities and stuff, and that's where the the actual development is getting a bit trickier. And then
Okay.
the since the POC was all done by this BAs and they are doing well, so we also thought that they would be able to manage the actual development too.
Right.
And then it took like months and months, 2 months and 3 months, and they hit a lot of issues, and some of those are technical issues, and some of
Right.
those you need to have, even though it's local no code, and then in order to achieve this some sort of functionality, you need to add a lot of formula just to get
Yeah.
one single piece of functionality.
You need to know the expressions. You need to know how coding language works to a point. To those who say it is low code, but when you're getting into the more complicated stuff, you need to know really how to handle and deal with it.
Yes, exactly. And then it's where until to a point that one of the BAs is she really getting fed up with the development, and she said, "Oh, this is too much complex, and I really can't do it anymore. Please get me a developer, a technical consultant resource."
Okay.
And then that is when I came in to that project again and work on it. And what I found is it is okay for the business for the local no-code perspective, but when you see the app, the controls are not being named properly,
Yeah.
and a lot of things are not usually following the development best practice. But of course, it is
Sure.
understandable because they are not developers.
So
And
from the sound of it, the oops factor in this case, my read of it from what you've just told me, is that you had, the BA team, the business analyst, drop the proof of concept, which is great, and it was a hit, and then they continued to do the full process of development of the app without really understanding how, even with low code, but how the code worked and development practices and principles and stuff.
yeah, that's exactly. So my so starting from that project, so for the subsequent Canvas apps projects, I recommend the PM to have at least one technical resource, not even if not full time, at least
Okay.
do the review from time to time to make sure that the app is the development is going on well with the proper development
Sure.
uh, life cycle, especially when you're building the enterprise level application, not just for
Yes,
the
very much
personal
so.
productivity tool. Yeah.
So really the lesson, as you said, that you've learned going forward is that although you could have people who are not developers, so the rest of us, and I count myself in that because I'm not from a developer background either, although we can, use Power Apps and we know how to do that, and we may be familiar with some of the code, but it would be best practice to include in the team somebody who can either do code reviews on a regular basis or who is available to, do that, and then to scale it up to an enterprise level app, because that's a whole load of other considerations.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's really necessary.
Right. It's very true. I've seen other cases of that, because obviously for enterprise scale applications, it's not just about what you're entering. It's about, how things scale. If you have 5 devices, that's one thing. If you have 5,000 devices, if you're hitting multiple data sources and data pulling and data pushing, you really need to do that properly and think of all those things, but you then have enterprise architects as well as enterprise level developers.
Yeah.
Brilliant. No, that's really, really good. And yeah, it's something that we're definitely seeing as people move more into it. There is, when the Power Platform first started to come out and this whole, low code, no code concept banning around, and developers are saying, but what about us? We're developers. What do we do? Are you just like shoving us off the page?
Yeah.
And what I saw, and is reiterated time and time again, is no, the devs are really great. I mean, I get on really well with devs. I've met some really, really guru level ones in my lifetime, but it's not that we're shoving you out and that
Yeah,
people, from a BA background or stuff can do it. It's that developers can focus on the proper development stuff, and all the rest
exactly.
around it can be handled by the rest of the team, who may need to skill up partially. But it's that sort of thing. And also the developers can write the very complicated code. All the simple stuff that, would be 10, 20, maybe 100 lines of code that you need to copy and paste are replaced by the controls in Power Platform. And people can just then put it themselves. So you can actually focus on the really complicated stuff that you really do need code for.
Yes, exactly. So the developers can, use those time to build something more complex, things like PCF controls,
Yeah.
other stuff. So that is not just now, like even previously when even in the dynamic CRM, when the business rules are available, the
Yes.
developers can they don't have to write JavaScript for those. The business VAs, functional consultants to do the business rules.
I
So,
love
but
I
at
love how
least,
you bring up business rules. I've actually been having a recent conversation in the Dynamics communities about business rules and the limitations. So currently, for instance, you can use them to hide fields. You
oh
can't use
yeah,
them to hide sections or
sections or
tabs.
tabs, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But did you
annoying.
know that if you hide every single field using business rule in
Yeah,
a section, it
section,
automatically hides the section?
hide the section. Yeah,
I didn't
but
know that. That was like
oh,
crazy.
yeah, it is. I found it, when I hide. I just wanted to show a section, the
Yep.
header, without any field in it, and then when I attempted, and then the section didn't show up because there's no field in it, or when the field is hidden, it doesn't show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time and coming on the show and sharing with us your story. It's been really appreciated.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for having me in the show too.
My pleasure. Now, something that I'm now asking people is, if you could nominate somebody to come on the show and share their oops factor, who
Mm,
would you think you would want to appear on?
mm. Okay. I would recommend Eliza Benitez.
Okay.
So Eliza is one of the MVPs, and she
Yep.
is famous, well known for her Microsoft Power Automate the Flow series on YouTube.
Yep.
And yeah, she's also my neighbor. She lives within my suburb in New
Ah,
Zealand, Wellington. Yeah, so I
okay.
I would recommend her to be
Brilliant.
on the show.
I've interacted a bit with her online. I'll drop her a line shortly and I will
Hmm.
tell her that you've recommended her and ask her to come on. Thank you so
Oh yeah,
much.
oh yeah, sure.
Wonderful. Well, once again, thank you so much for your time, viewers. We hope that you've enjoyed this show. If you would like to come on it yourself, feel free to click the link below, fill in your details. Please feel free to also check out the rest of the Oops Factor playlist and subscribe to the channel. And if you also want to, take a look at my blog. Have a great day.